a beautiful
Okay, yeah, well, she sorts that out. I will tell you what we're going to do today. So we, here at Gotham Quilts, we design, we design a lot of our own patterns, but we also use other people's patterns and other people's fabric to come up with kits. Um, and I do a lot of my design work on the computer in Illustrator, and a lot of well, I shouldn't say a lot, but there have been many times where we send out emails with a beautiful quilt that we are taking pre-orders or orders for that don't exist. Those things come together in a computer, and then we share them with you, and we've never actually made them. And that's one of the real beauties of technology, and it allows us to show you things and give ourselves and you a really good visualization of what something is going to look like before you actually go through all the effort of cutting and sewing things back together and so on and so forth. And it's good for evaluating, if you're not sure about this background or the scale of something, how things are going to go together. It's not always a great representation, but it's still better than what you can see in your mind in most cases. And as a customer, you're not going to buy something that you can't see. I totally understand that. That's asking way too much. So we need to be able to show you what we've envisioned and show you what it's going to look like. So do a lot of that stuff on the computer. I know a lot of you guys don't have experience doing that or even seeing someone do that. So we're going to show you a little bit behind the scenes tonight, how I, kind of come up with mock-ups, and then usually I'll show Yvette, sometimes also Jen. Sometimes it's like, oh yeah, I love it. Most of the time it's like, oh, well, that's good, but can you do this? Can you change that? And that's the other beauty is, yes, I can change things pretty quickly most of the time.
Yesterday, the three of us were in a Zoom call, just like this that we're doing right now.
Yep.
And we spent a full hour messing with the fabric's location on this one quilt for what we are hoping to do as a future block of the month.
Right.
So we're not showing you that one today because that's still like way in the weeds and not even
that's
close
what this
to.
idea came up with.
Yep.
But yeah, we don't want to show you something that's still 6 months out, because then you want it now.
Yeah.
So we're showing you something that's only 1 month out. Using the Deco Glow. No, not Deco Glow.
Deco Frost.
Sorry, there are all these Deco collections. Deco Frost by Juicy Juice, which is coming out in August. That's one, it was actually supposed to come out in May or June.
I think it was supposed to be June.
Yeah, so, but Andover, the manufacturer, wrote to us quite a while ago and said that there were issues with the mill. It will now be released in August. So that actually gives us a little bit more time to come up with quotes to use it. And I've always liked Juicy Juice's Deco collections. This one is really nice. It's small. It is, you could say it's holiday, but it's more of a winter theme than a Christmas or some other, specific holiday. To me, as soon as I saw it, I thought the movie Frozen. I also have a 7-year-old girl, so I have seen the movie Frozen more times than I can count. But girls that age, they still all want to be Elsa, even though that movie came out, I don't know how long ago. So it's a very, that was immediately what I thought of when I saw it. Oh, Elsa, Frozen.
I did not think.
No, if you don't have a young girl, you probably aren't going to think that, first of all. But if you do have a young girl in your life, keep that in mind, because she might really like something made out of this.
She might want to steal your fabric.
It's possible. So there is a quilt that Juicy Juice came up with that we are already taking pre-orders for on the website. But,
do you want me to show that?
Sure, we can show that one real quick. So yeah, so the designer himself, Juicy Juice, came up with this quilt. And I know that he also did it digitally because it is also just a mock-up. And when I say mock-up, that's a digital image with the pattern swatches, the fabric swatches put into the digital image to give you an idea of what this quilt would look like. So this is a quilt that does not exist He might be in the process of making one. That wouldn't surprise me. But the image you're looking at right now is a digital mock-up, as we call it. So that's what we do here too. So I really like this collection. It's so pretty. I mean, I'm also an aqua and purple person, so
Yeah.
it's right up my alley.
I think what's interesting about this group is that he added the black, because usually if you think about like icy,
right,
snow, you get white, you get blue, you might get a little purple, but like you don't usually get black.
right.
So
Even
that makes it more interesting.
Right. So I don't know how long, a year ago, I did ice as I think it was June or July, the Stash Society. And the image that I used for that did have a lot of gray and black in it because I guess the ice gets dirty in the Arctic or whatever. But it also had beautiful turquoises and whites and that sort of thing too. So it does kind of make sense that there would be some, but she's right. You don't often see that in fabric collections. So this is a beautiful quilt by itself, but I just wanted to, I felt inspired by this collection and I thought that we could come up with something too that, is unique to us. Because since anyone can sell that quilt or that kit, the pattern is a free download on the Andover website. So we're going to put together kits for that quilt, but we also wanted something that was just us.
Yeah. So let's see what you've done so far. So for everyone, like background, this is a real live collaboration situation between me and Andrea.
Feel free to put comments in the chat. Let us know. Oh, I hate that. No, I love that. Whatever your feelings are, we would love to know. If you have, could you take out the gray or could you take out the purple? Any comments you'd like, I will do my best. I can't guarantee I will be able to do all of them, but I'm going to try. And so you guys can jump in with your thoughts as well.
Well, what I was going to say is we're not pretending in this video. This is literally what we would be doing, not live on YouTube, but normally Andrea does some work and then she shows the rest of us and we do, collaborate on tweaking and then come up with ideas. And then everybody is like, okay, this one works, right? I have seen sneak peeks of some of this stuff, but we didn't already pick. We didn't already create a product, right? Like, this is not fake. We're actually doing this.
So some of it will even be a surprise for Yvette. But yeah, it's very common for me to just send her screenshots of things I'm working on and just be like, "What do you think? Am I on the right track?"
And I am very hard to impress. So
she usually is actually. Although I am myself, so I shouldn't talk. All right. So let me share my screen. And hopefully I won't make anyone feel sick by the infinity. Okay. So this is my Illustrator screen. What you're looking at is this is the Snowflake pattern by Modern Handcraft. It's one that we don't currently have in stock at the moment, but we're getting it. We have sold it before.
And we have the product up on our website as a pre-sale because it is coming in.
Right, because I don't always plan. See, we don't plan ahead very well.
Not consistently, that's for sure.
We decided yesterday that this is what we were going to do for the live because it was, what we were doing was interesting. And it was like, oh, other people might like to see this too. But I don't currently have these in stock, but we're getting them. So this is, again, the Snowflake pattern by Modern Handcraft. And it's a good pattern. It's very simple. It's squares and half square triangles. So good for beginners, good for just about anybody. And as you can see, I have plugged in, I think I have this one locked here. Yeah, they're all
Do you happen to have the original version of that easily?
Sort of.
Because I think that some people may not be aware. Yeah, so there you go. So that's what the cover of the pattern looks like.
Yeah. So that's the original. And then, but she does also have a solid version, the stripe version, and then a scrappy version. And if I had thought ahead better, I would have pulled up our version of the
Oh, the
snowflake.
old turquoise one. Because it was
the
kind of
turquoise.
similar in a way.
When I'm not screen sharing, maybe I'll look for that and show you. So this is the striped version with the Deco Frost fabrics plugged in, and I'm going to zoom in here just so you can see a little bit better, what it actually looks like. So the repeats are not perfect here. You can see where the repeat doesn't join up perfectly, but it's close enough for what we're trying to do. So each of these are squares and then half square rectangles to assemble.
No, half square triangles, right?
Yes. I'm going through a phase where I think I'm saying one thing, but I'm actually saying something else. And it's getting more common, and it's starting to scare me a little bit. But you can see the different fabrics here in this version. So that's one. And then, oops, that wasn't going to be the last one. Here, I'll show you this one. And then here's a
I like that one.
You like the scrappy one?
I think I like that one.
So I'll zoom in also here so you can see. So I used two different whites in the snowflake itself.
Oh, that's great. So it'll be like a little bit shimmery.
I don't think there's any metallic, but it's
I don't mean that. I mean like because you'll have the two different textures.
You can see, this one where you can see it's all the same fabric. This one gives you a little bit more variation. I can also select. Oops, I just got a new computer, so I haven't got my Illustrator perfected yet. What just happened? There we go. Or I don't have it set up the way I usually do yet. Why didn't that work?
What are you trying to do?
Select all of those. Why has this not been working lately? It wasn't working the other day either. It's not locked. What's happening?
See, I told you all, this is real. We are not faking.
Yeah, I don't know why this isn't working. It's worked every other time. All right, so I'll stop trying to do that, and I will just show you some of the different fabrics in here. So I didn't put any white in the background because then you don't get the shape of the snowflake as well. And then I had another idea where
I have a question. Is the distribution of the colors in the patchwork, is it roughly equal amounts of everything?
That's a great question. I have no idea.
Because somehow it's reading more purple to me than the other one.
Well, so the other one didn't have any purple, really.
Isn't that bottom from the second from the bottom? Is
might be. I'm not sure.
Looks purple to me.
Will it let me select it? Yeah. This one. Oh, I see what's happening. Yeah.
Andrea also talks to herself a lot.
Oh, very much. And I talk to my computer. Yeah, this might be purple. It's hard to tell.
Yeah.
I think this is like a dark purple. But it's more of a blue.
Yeah.
And then with this one, because there's more
like lavender.
Yeah, more of the lavender in here too. That were not in the other one. So yes, I do think it's going to read more, more purple overall.
I feel like this would be more fun to make because you're working with different fabrics, and the other one is just like a big piece of the same fabric.
Exactly. I also think this would be more fun to make, and it's a little bit more interesting too. But I really like the bold kind of graphic of the stripe.
Yeah.
So I thought that maybe I could combine the two.
Ooh.
And do which I think this one is my favorite now. I still have the two colors in the white, But here you can see, so down at the bottom, it's a patchwork of the darkest of the fabrics. And then we get a little bit lighter and a little bit lighter until we're only using just the lightest fabrics.
Is there, could you zoom in again?
Is it in or out?
Out. I wish that the light at the top wasn't quite as light so that it would have more contrast with the snowflake.
So I can do that. Let's see if this works this time. No, it's not going to work. I don't know why.
Yeah, I guess if you took out the white up
Right.
there. Yeah.
So if I just go through here and select all of these whites, which the computer's supposed to be able to do for me, but it's not cooperating at the
Let's
moment.
write an angry letter to Adobe.
Yeah, right. That wouldn't be the first. Okay, so now I have those selected. So I could change it to gray.
That's probably too dark though, right? That gray.
Probably. It also just kind of dulls it out. I can just switch it to one of the other fabrics, but then they start, like I'd have to go back and be more careful about
And
that.
distribute them. Yeah.
Exactly. Or I could just make them white and change.
Or what about making it like a pale blue solid?
That's what I'm gonna do.
Oh, okay, good. See, we know each other.
Okay, so there's a nice pale blue solid.
I think that might be better just from like the contrast of the foreground versus the background.
Yeah. And it took me a little while. The two middle ones were hard also to get that balance right where they
to look like a stripe.
Different, yeah. But I think it's there. I might want to keep working on it. And yeah, this could work. We could also make all of the, see, I'm going to try this again, but it's not going to work. Make the snowflake a white. And then we could use these prints up here.
Ooh, or maybe we make the snowflake a metallic. Like, remember we used to have the
Yep.
Essex metallic?
Yes, that's what we used. Nope, that doesn't work. Oh, this is going to drive me insane. Yeah, this is making me crazy.
Could maybe try it from the menu. There's a place in the menu you can do that same thing instead of from the shortcut, right?
The menu. Oh, you're right. Yeah, see, that works. Huh, interesting.
Yeah, so something with that shortcut is weird.
So yeah, we can make that white.
Sandra says she likes this version. And Raquel is saying that metallics are all in.
Oops, didn't work. Select, same, fill. Oh my gosh.
That should have a keyboard shortcut.
Well, it was nice that they put the button up here, but not nice that it doesn't work anymore. Why isn't this working either?
Maybe this is just a problem file.
Or it doesn't like, maybe, yeah, I don't know. So like I said, this is a new computer. And today is the first time I've used Illustrator on it. And so I am working out the kinks here.
Live.
It doesn't want to work for me. So yeah, as Yvette was saying, this is real life. I actually kind of like the checkerboard though, to be honest.
Oh,
that's kind of
cool. Also, it's kind of like checkerboard on checkerboard in a way, right? Because the back is speckled. So that seems like maybe a lot.
Well, try one more time. Nope, not gonna do it. So I could do them each individually, but well, that just gives you a little taste there. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, maybe a solid, and then we can put more of the white up at the top.
That's a good point.
Yeah, so I can play with all three of these a little bit more. and make them have more contrast between them.
Yeah, and do you think it would be possible to include every fabric that's in the collection in the background?
This does include everything except for the 2 grays.
Okay.
Because yeah, the blacks, or what I think is black, and purples and dark blues are all in the bottom. So I tried to put the grays in, but it wasn't working.
Wasn't quite right, yeah.
Yeah. So this, but yeah.
And
I think
the snowflake can't be gray, right?
I mean, it could, but I think it would look really dirty.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm going to keep trying.
Hey, it worked.
Sort of.
What do you mean? I see it selected.
It's not changing them, though.
Half changed.
That's, is it? Because these are selected, but it isn't changing them.
I don't know. Maybe they're not selected. Maybe only every other is selected.
But the red square's there. That's how you know it's selected. Anyway.
Anyway, okay. So does anyone have any other ideas they want to see for the snowflake quilt? Anyone who's watching? Sandra is saying that if it was gray, it would be day 2 in New York.
Exactly.
A snowstorm, day 2.
Exactly. Yep. While you guys are thinking about that, I will also show you the other idea, which is also a pattern that we don't have in stock yet. This is Nordic Star by Patchwork and Poodles. And basically what I did was just go to our distributor's website and look at different different quilts that had snowflake-like patterns. And this one looked like a good one. And in the original pattern, it does have an ombre across like this. And I love a good ombre. So I wanted to try it out. And I think it's kind of nice here, I think. Kind of, starting with the purples up here and then fading across to it's a blue. I could, if it would let me select things, I could play with this and change it around while you're watching, but it won't. So
the one thing about this one that kind of sticks out to me is that the value of the pail in the center is so much lighter than the rest of it. So it almost feels like that. Like if you squint your eyes, it almost
like that though. To me,
you think?
I do, but I could see how someone else wouldn't be into that. But yeah, I kind of like that it sort of fades in the middle. The original quilt that they did in ombres was in solids. Let me stop sharing here for a sec.
Oh, we got 2 people in the comments saying that they like that one was pretty and cool.
The Nordic Star one? Awesome. Yeah, let me try to find... Actually... Come on, computer. Trying to find her
tap dance. So.
Yeah. Sorry. Oh, I can't find it.
What are you trying to look for?
The snowflake, the old one, but that's okay.
Oh.
I have the Nordic Star here pattern. Now I have to find Restream again. Here we go. Too many things. So this is the original Nordic Star.
Hold on
so it does kind of fade there in the middle.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. I hadn't actually thought about the fact that your mock-up is so similar to the cover. Yeah. Usually when we recolor something, like it's pretty wildly different, but this time it's almost identical to the cover.
Right. And I think it would be fun to play with and change kind of live, but because it is not cooperating, that would take too much time. Normally, there's shortcuts and things that you can select everything and just change it really quickly and easily, but who knows?
Was there another design, or was it just
There
those
was, but I didn't get very far.
Okay, well, let me see it.
Okay.
Also, I'm sorry if I sound crazy. I couldn't find my normal headphones, and these are not as good.
Okay, so the last one just looks like a grid of white or like cross stitches or something.
Oh, is this the heart one?
It is.
Oh, I have that already mocked up somewhere, don't I?
Oh, I think you do. Why didn't you mention that when I said this?
Because I don't think I followed that that's what you were doing.
I told you I was doing.
Yeah,
Anyway.
I'm pretty sure I did that already, didn't I?
Yeah, I think you did too. Whether I can find it or not. Yeah, don't get me started on finding files and
Inside Illustrator, yeah.
yeah, you want to see me go crazy, that'll do it.
So why don't you show everybody which pattern that is, since they can't tell from the picture?
Well, that would assume that I had that pattern, a picture of that pattern.
I think you have it in your hand, don't you?
Yes, but I can't see what you can see.
So that one's, yeah, Exploding Heart.
Pattern has been around for a long time, and it's been mocked up in so many different fabrics. A lot of the fabric companies will mock up new collections using this quilt. But I thought it would be fun to instead of like a snowflake, to use a different image, but with the wintry colors. So as you can see, this is just squares, and again, well, these are actually quarter square triangles and half
yeah.
So yeah, so I was going to plug it in, and this is how it all begins.
I found it. I had mocked it up in EQ8, not in Illustrator.
Oh, well, then that wouldn't have helped me anyway. So I took the grid from the pattern and laid out the solid squares and all of the quarter square triangles here where they're supposed to go. But now I would just need to go in and, ooh, I can hide that. I can just need to go in and select where all the greens go and where all the pinks go, which is going to take entirely too long to do, but I'll just do a couple here just so you can see.
If I give you a PDF, is that easier?
Nope.
No.
Maybe, but probably not. And in the pattern, there is a chart that I'm following, or at least trying to follow, but also doing it very quickly. But I don't actually need to follow it perfectly. So let's put that one in there, and then find all the turquoise. Oop, not that one.
I'm gonna share my screen for just a sec so people
can see. Go right ahead.
So we don't always use Illustrator. Andrea pretty much always uses Illustrator, but there's also this other software that's called Electric Quilt, which you all might be used to hearing about, because this is designed just for designing quilt patterns. It has a pretty steep learning curve, just like Illustrator does. But at some point we were going to sell this quilt pattern, the Exploding Heart one, with a Tulip Pink bundle that was arriving at some point. And so I had drawn that quilt out in EQ8 so that I could recolor it. And this is that pattern. But we can't take a file that's in EQ8 and put it in Illustrator, unfortunately. So
yeah, we've tried. It doesn't work very well.
So that's why Andrea's relaying it out right now in Illustrator so that she can draw it and fill it up with colors. But I don't know that hearts and frost really go together that well.
No, you don't think so?
How do you feel about that?
Yeah, let us know. Because this is the kind of thing that Yvette and I would argue about.
Yes. Anybody want to chime in? Do you want to see this heart one done in Deco Frost?
Yeah, this is too hard for me to do right now.
No one said yes, so maybe I'm right. Maybe it is.
Fair enough. Okay. Yeah, looks no.
Gail's saying no.
Okay. Well, you just saved me some time, Gail.
Yeah, we got 2 no's, so
Pass.
thank you, everybody.
No problem. Not going to hurt my feelings. Yep. All right. I think this consensus is.
Thank you, everybody. Saved us some work.
All right. Thanks a lot.
So now the question is,
snowflake quilts, though. Do you prefer the Nordic Star or the snowflake?
Yeah. So the first one with the one big snowflake, or the ombre little snowflakes.
Yeah. The smaller ombre is Nordic Star, and the big snowflake is just called snowflake. Because we are going to offer at least one, if not both. We're sort of.
We could do both.
Sure.
That's a good idea.
So we got one for Star. Because I think they're both good.
Maybe we should do both.
I mean, why not? Big snowflake, although Frozen Heart at Elsa at some. Yep. See, we'll save that for a special
for someone's grandchild.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so we got 1 vote for the star, 1 vote for the snowflake, and 1 baby vote for the heart.
Which I will not make anyone watch me do. But that is what I do. So yeah, going into the, reading the pattern. So in the pattern, she has this layout that's just a grid. And so I made my grid to match this. And then I would just go in and select and add the color to it. So that it actually looked like something instead of just a white quilt. And then I can go in and I can change the fabrics and move stuff around and that sort of thing. Fairly easy.
Yeah. A lot of times when we're working on these, we'll switch the background, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh no, this is not good. It really makes.
Sometimes you'll click on something accidentally and like, oh, I like that, and something you would never even have thought about.
Yeah. And
actually, the Kupka quilt here, these colors partly came about because I was just.
You mean quota?
What did I say? Did I say Kupka? All right. Anyway, Kupka. No, quota. Quota. When I was designing it in the computer, I just needed colors that were high contrast with each other, just as working colors. But then I actually liked the colors.
Oh, okay.
They were working together. It wasn't like I didn't plan that palette at all. It just sort of ended up working out that way. I need another color that looks different than orange and magenta. Okay, I'll pick blue. I need something that looks different than those. Green. And ones you can see very well are not the same as each other when you're doing the design, and then you can come back in and tweak those colors.
That makes sense.
But that was one case where it's like, oh, I kind of like these crazy colors together.
All right, so we got 1 vote for each quilt. So maybe we are going to do both. Oh, we got a comment.
Oh, interesting. They come back okay, so Sandra is saying her sister and her figured out that the word thing is from being a working mom, and next the nouns go. They come back when the kids are adults. I got a long way to go until she's an adult.
Oh man, yeah.
And if it gets worse, oh no, this is going to be a problem. And she's the first one
to Justin too, or just to you?
What?
Is Justin having the same? No.
No, never. Only me. And the 2 of them pointed out to me constantly because I'm doing it constantly. correcting me, like, no, it's blah blah blah, and I was like, that's what I said. No, you said XYZ. Yep, they will definitely make fun of me.
Yeah. Well, you know what's funny is that when you do it to me, I assume that
That I
I'm
mean,
understood, right? Because there's so many things other people say where I'm like,
yeah,
I think
no,
that must mean some other thing, right? Like, yeah. Oh, look, what Nana who's watching is making quota right now.
all
So,
right,
so I had prepared for this video with the thought that some people might want to tell us that they want whatever quilt we decide to do in Deco Frost, even without seeing what it is. So if that's the case, if you're watching and you're thinking, I want one of these, I did set up a temporary product. It's essentially a deposit product that just says like, if you know you're going to want it, you can like squat one of these because we won't be able to make too many of them since we ordered X amount of Deco Frost and we've already pre-sold a bunch of it. So if you know you want one of these kits, it's kind of sounding like we might make both. Don't
yeah, maybe.
maybe. Uh, what you can do if you for sure want one and you don't want to miss out, you can purchase this deposit. It's $25, and then once the actual quilt kits are set up, what I'll do is I'll send you a invoice for the kit minus the deposit that you've paid, and then you can check out for the actual quilt once we actually have it designed.
And if there's more than one, you'll have the option of which one.
Yeah,
you
exactly. Oh,
which I didn't think of until
I didn't think of that. That might be a little confusing,
I didn't either.
but it'll be fine.
Yeah, I doubt too many people are going to put the deposit down for something they've never seen, but who knows?
I just feel like I felt like somebody might ask. So that's why I prepared
Yeah.
it ahead of time,
Yeah,
you know.
totally. But yeah, we'll definitely let you decide which one you want. We're not going to decide for you. If
Oh,
there's
yeah.
one.
Yeah. I just realized that on YouTube, it put the link in the comments for me.
I see
I
that.
didn't even know that that would do that. That's new. All right. Well, it's been a real weird Tuesdays in the shop, so I don't know if people enjoyed that or not, but I had fun.
If my thing was working better, I would have had fun. But
Yeah, you're always mad at Illustrator, so
those
what
kinds
else?
of things, when it doesn't work the way I think it's supposed to, or the way it always has worked before today, it
Yeah.
makes me really crazy.
Yeah. So thanks for coming, and those of you who gave us comments, thank you for chiming in.
It's always helpful to get feedback from you guys. I really like getting it.
I think we'll be done with setting them up by next week, and then we'll send an email when it is finished. Oh, Sandra's saying she likes seeing the process, so okay, good. I thought that would be fun for people, but you never really know when you're doing something new, right? So, but yeah, in general, people like seeing the behind the scenes, like, oops, I clicked the wrong thing. Oh, okay. Watching and listening is interesting. Yay. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, because I mean, most people don't do jobs that are anything like this.
No.
So it's something, that they just don't get to see very often.
And this is like the fun part of owning a quilt store, right? Like the behind the scenes that you don't want to watch is us like packing orders or like tracking down shipments that don't show up.
That's the worst one. Yeah. I didn't get my order. It says it was delivered. Can you help me?
And it's like the postal service is not helpful, right? Yeah. Or like Andrea for 3 days has been dealing with an air conditioner that doesn't work.
No, for weeks I've been dealing with an air conditioner.
Not a fun part of owning a business, but when we're designing a quilt, that is a fun part of it. So we wanted to share that with everybody.
Yeah, getting ready for Zoo Family to ship.
Right.
Cut 28 backings today. We have a stack of 30-some full kits, 50 monthly kits.
You should take some pictures and we can post it on social media.
Okay. Yeah, the stack is really tall. But it's against the wall, so it's not in danger of falling on anyone.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's taking up a lot of space and time. but that's okay because that's still kind of fun.
Yeah. In other housekeeping news, we got a shipment notification today for the Big Woods fabric packs. So if you had pre-ordered that, they are on their way to us, so they will ship to you soon.
Next week, probably.
Yeah, I would think yes. And also we have something new that we're gonna launch next week. I'm trying to do that like evil.
Oh,
So
it's
hopefully
not an evil thing though. There's nothing evil about it.
No, it's a fun one. So we're planning to launch it on Monday, and then that'll be live on Tuesday, assuming we finish the sample.
Right.
Nothing like working at the last minute.
Yeah, totally. But I mean, we've been working on this one for a while, so
yeah. Yeah, if you think about, so like what we were talking about today, where we were designing it and figuring out the details and thinking through, like, does this make sense? And should we use all these fabrics and all this kind of stuff? When we make the sample at the end, that's like the easy part, right? Because like it took us so long to figure out what we wanted to do and gather the supplies. And then it's like, oh, I get to sew now? Like, this is easy, right? So
exactly. Yeah, making sure the fabric is still going to be available in 6 months, or that we have enough of it right now, and all of that stuff, going into things.
So now we're in the phase of sewing the sample, and assuming we finish it by the deadline and we have a picture, we will launch something cool on Monday. So do we have anything else we needed to update anyone on?
Nope, I don't think so. Yeah, Zoo Family is going to ship soon. Big Woods is going to ship soon. There's a couple people waiting for their Sylvia kits. I expect the wool to come in any day.
I think we saw a shipment notification today for that too.
We did, yep. Yeah, so that should be here soon, and those will go out as soon as that comes in. The cat pajamas, that's a new pre-order that we started taking. That fabric has shipped, so those will be coming soon also, which that's a really fun one. I love the cat pajamas, or cats in pajamas, I should say.
Yeah. And actually, I just want to say out loud, in case you haven't seen, if you signed up for the Half Square Triangle retreat, we announced last week that we have to reschedule it. So it's going to be in August, not this coming weekend, which was the original plan. I sent an email last week on, I think it was Tuesday, but today we got an email from somebody who hadn't seen the email yet. So throwing it out there, if you had registered for the Half Square Triangle retreat, you probably noticed that you haven't received your stuff yet. That's because we had to reschedule it.
Yeah.
So please check your emails and
really sorry
let us know.
That, but things happen.
And we've already had a couple of people cancel because they couldn't make the new date. So we're going to open up signups again for like a week to let anyone else who can make the new date come in instead. So keep an eye out for that email also. All right.
All right.
I guess you and I can continue the fun of the choosing the fabrics.
I'm not. I'm going home where I have air.
I didn't mean tonight. I mean,
yes.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for joining us, everybody. We will be back next week at the same time, same place, 6:30 p.m. New York City / Eastern time on Tuesday night. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, everybody.
Have a good night.